almost gave you everything and more. Fell for you like pouring rain, but somehow we got washed away. There's something that my heart's still waiting for. I will smile and say I'm moving on, but my heart betrays me in a song, and I know I can't let go. And if you ask me how I really feel, would I even tell you that it's real? Would I? Deep inside, it's still you and I, you and I. In my mind, 'cause we never said I don't know how a single word can hold you when it's left unheard, even when I know we're worlds apart. And if I could turn back the days, is there something that I'd change? Or am I just in love with dreaming of your face? 'Cause if you ask me how I really feel, would I even tell you that it's real? Would I? Deep inside, we never said goodbye.
Broadcasting from down on the bayou, it's the Average Marks Pro Wrestling Podcast, powered by Lake Area Media, LLC. And now your hosts, David Boston and Patrick Fry.
It's Samoa Joe coming in. It's your boys. I always thought that music sounded like Samoa Joe's music for some reason.
I don't think I've ever had that thought
You
one
never
time.
thought that?
No, I've never thought that until just now when you said it.
No, it sounds like a badass something that Samoa Joe would come out to.
It's a cool beat. I mean, obviously we chose it for our intro, so we obviously like it. But I never once thought it was Samoa Joe, or it sounded similar to Samoa Joe's music. I guess maybe we're missing the crowd chanting Joe. That's what it is. That's why I never thought. Yeah, you're right.
This is episode 106 of the AMP Wrestling Podcast. I'm David Boston. He is Patrick Fry, and we are here to rock your world. Make sure you check out the sponsor of today's show, our Amazon affiliate link. Patrick, you bought something from it.
Yeah, I felt bad last week. Bought some stuff on Amazon. Didn't use the link. Had to do a little shopping today, and of course I thought, hey, let me use the link. All I did was type in tinyurl.com/AmazonAmp. Took me directly to Amazon, and after that, just did everything like I would normally do. Didn't pay anything extra, nothing else out of the ordinary, and I bookmarked it. So it's really simple, folks. All you got to do is just literally, even if you're sitting at a computer right now or you have access to a browser, whether it's on your phone or iPad, whatever the case may be, just type in tinyurl.com/AmazonAmp, A-M-P, and bookmark, and then it'll take you directly to Amazon. Just bookmark that page right there, and then anytime you want to go to Amazon, just boom, click that link that you bookmarked, and it'll help you boys out just a little bit.
Yeah. And look, it's a little commission, but a little bit goes a long way. So
didn't you buy some stuff on there as well?
But I think, this is why Jeff Bezos is the richest man in the world, because Jeff is smart, Patrick. Because I think Jeff knows, because I tried to get around the whole thing. I used my wife's account, but I think maybe they matched up, maybe the addresses are the same with the affiliate link. Yeah. Because I went in there, checked the next day, and usually, your commissions show up, because back then when the pandemic first started, bro.
Yeah.
I was raking in with some TP sales, with some mask sales.
Yeah.
But that's neither here nor there. Yeah, Jeff Bezos is a smart man, and I do not think they're going to give me commission for the things that I bought with my wife's, because the commission didn't show up. I'm going to have to log back in and see if it finally did.
Well, nonetheless, folks, if you do shop Amazon, which I'm sure most, if not all of our listeners
Everybody does.
tinyurl.com/AmazonAmp. It may just be a little bit, but hey, every little bit helps as far as we're concerned, and we're going to use it to certainly improve our podcast in any way, shape, or form that we can.
Yeah, I would love to eventually get to the point where we can, rent an office space and just make that like our podcast heaven.
I think what we got now is all right.
This is dope, but like a place we can call ours.
Yeah. Well, we can almost call this room ours. No one else uses it except us.
Yeah, but it's owned by somebody else.
You're right. It is owned by someone else, but at the same time, all our stuff's in here. No one messes with it. It's nice.
It is. It's a good setup. What we got going on today's show, Patrick?
On episode number 106 of the AMP Wrestling Podcast for Thursday, July 15th, 2021. We're going to talk about Money in the Bank this weekend. It's a big weekend. It's actually a big week for professional wrestling getting back on the road. Big week for Texas, all the fans over in Texas. It really started last night with AEW Dynamite over in Cedar Park in the greater Austin area. And it continues tomorrow night with Smackdown in Houston. And then Fort Worth on Sunday will be hosting Money in the Bank. Monday Night Raw will be in Dallas next Monday, and then next Wednesday, also in the greater Dallas area, I think it's in Garland, Texas, will be AEW Dynamite Fighter Fest Night 2. So a big week in Texas for pro wrestling getting back on the road. We're going to talk about Money in the Bank, WWE this weekend. Of course, they got SmackDown, they got Money in the Bank, and they have Raw, the first shows of each respective brand, obviously, and the pay-per-view back in front of crowds. We'll talk about that. Also, another big show this weekend, Impact Slammiversary, will be Saturday night. That's in Nashville. There's going to be fans there for that as well. So it's really a huge week in pro wrestling in terms of fans being back. I know we've all waited on fans to come back. I know I've waited on fans to come back. That show last night in Austin, it was spectacular because of the fans. They were hot all night long last night. It was really fun. to see the crowd in Austin last night on TNT for Dynamite, and I'm looking forward to the crowds this weekend at the wrestling shows. And we're also going to talk about, obviously, AEW Fighter Fest last night in Austin. We'll recap that. We'll also preview Night 2 next week as well. So basically, we're going to be talking about what's going to be coming up in the next week in pro wrestling, and then also a little fun at the end. We're going to talk about Sunny. We all remember the gorgeous Sunny. She, of course, has an OnlyFans account, and she's looking for some co-stars on her OnlyFans, boys and girls. She's not discriminating by gender from what I read. So we'll talk about that coming up at the end of the show and everything else here on the AMP Wrestling Podcast, episode number 106 for Thursday, July 15th, 2021.
Oh, Sonny must have been listening to the Demi Lovato tune, Cool for the Summer.
I don't know, but I do know one thing, and that Sonny is a freak. Marcus Talbert in the chat, my people, finally caught y'all. Yes, hey! Marcus in the chat. Thanks for hanging out with us, Marcus. We got lots to talk about today, man. Yeah. So hang out, join the conversation. We got a lot to talk about. I'm sure you'll want to stick around for that Sonny. He said, you got, Pat. I guess he's saying I got it as far as the whole Sonny thing. I don't know. My girlfriend might not be a big fan of that. But maybe, like I said, Sonny is looking for boys and girls. So maybe I'll say, look, sweetie, it's me and you.
The double hall pass.
The double hall pass, yeah.
Oh, my God. I'm sure she would pick someone else other than Sonny. But
yeah, maybe so, but I don't know. I'm still debating on whether or not I want to actually bring up that conversation, if it's even worth bringing up to her. But
have you heard the song "Cool for the Summer"?
Oh yeah, yeah, I've heard it.
Okay,
absolutely.
Play that song before you bring it up.
All right. Well, maybe I'll bring it up over dinner tonight. We're going out to eat, so.
Find us on your favorite social media platform: Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, YouTube. We are there. Just search AMP Wrestling Podcast, and you'll find us. Also, before we get into this, another lit crowd. Crowds are just off the chain right now. Oh, Papa Top again.
That's my PhD soda, the Dr. Pepper. Popping open here.
I switched over to ABC for a hot minute last night, and the Bucks fans were lit.
Well, yeah, that is, they haven't hosted an NBA Finals game up in Milwaukee, I think, since like maybe the 70s or the 60s. It's been a long time, like long before probably you and I have ever even were even a thought on this planet. I know Game 3 that was their first game back, and then they had Game 4 last night. They tied the series too, so I heard it was a really good game. I was watching Dynamite. I don't care about the NBA Finals this year, and we'll talk about how AEW also went up against them in the ratings, and they actually fared pretty well last night. So we're going to talk about that coming up as well. But yeah, shout out to Milwaukee and Phoenix, both teams in the NBA Finals for the first time in a long time. Even though I don't care, shout out to both of those teams for making it that far.
Well, Giannis and his squad are wrestling fans. Have you seen the videos of them doing like little wrestling matches before they go out before the game?
I've seen it. It's been a while. I feel like they've been doing that for a little while now.
Yeah, a few years now.
Yeah, I think I remember seeing it a while back. I mean, a long time ago, but haven't seen really anything lately in terms of that. But they, shout out to them for being wrestling fans. We appreciate you guys bringing some awareness to professional wrestling with your pregame antics.
Yes.
I don't know how the coach feels about that, but hey, whatever, as long as they're having fun.
Yeah.
It's obviously working if they made it to the finals. All right, first topic. This weekend, WWE Money in the Bank, but I kind of want to basically not necessarily just talk about Money in the Bank, but talk about the weekend as a whole, starting with tomorrow night, Smackdown, Houston, Texas. Had a guy that came to the station earlier to pick up a prize that he won, and he randomly, I guess, Josh Chasson, I don't know if you listening to our podcast, I'm assuming that's how you knew I was a wrestling fan, because I don't really talk about it on the actual radio that much, but he came and picked up his prize he won over the radio, and he asked me my name, and I told him it was Patrick, and he's like, "Oh, you're Patrick Fry," and everything, this and that, and then he just kind of asked me, he's like, "You going to SmackDown in Houston tomorrow?" I said, "No, unfortunately, I'm not. I wish I was. I'd love to go, but I'll gladly be watching on TV to check it out, see how it goes, and everything like that." So, Josh Chasson, if you're listening, shout out to you for being another wrestling fan. But
and then he totally stalked you on Facebook.
Well, he asked me. He said, "Hey, you have Facebook?" I said, "Yeah." He said, "You mind if I add you as a friend?" And I was like, "Yeah, sure, go ahead." He seemed like a nice guy, so
Maybe you do talk about wrestling all the time on the radio, and you just black out and you don't even know it.
No, I really don't. Maybe when WrestleMania comes around, I might mention, "Hey, wrestling fans, big, WrestleMania tonight." Other than that,
maybe he's a Patrick Fry fan. I can't even get it out from way back.
Now, granted, when WWE has come to Lake Charles, I've talked about it. Obviously, we've had wrestlers call in and we've done interviews over the radio. But
shout out to Carmella.
Yeah, shout out to Carmella.
That was a great interview.
I've also interviewed in the past Jason Jordan. I interviewed Jason Jordan, Kurt Angle's son. I know we had one of our bosses. He interviewed Matt Hardy.
Yes.
When he was doing his broken gimmick.
Yes.
With WWE.
But our boss knew nothing about wrestling, so
he didn't understand.
He started out broken Matt, and in the middle he just gave it up, and he was regular Matt.
Yeah.
Back from North Carolina, Matt.
Yeah,
that was just like, okay, this guy knows nothing about wrestling.
Yeah, that was very interesting. But let's go ahead now. We're going to dive into SmackDown tomorrow night, Houston, Texas, Toyota Center. It's sold out. I think they said it holds around 19,000 people. So that's going to be a crowd.
Yeah, it's a pretty weak venue for WWE. That sounds more like an AEW venue.
19,000. No, that's a good crowd. That's a good venue.
I don't know.
You got to remember too, and I'm going to do a little comparison here. Raw comes to the Cajun Dome a lot. I think the Cajun Dome holds 7,000 to 9,000 people.
Really?
Yeah.
No, it's got to hold more than that.
I'm looking it up.
The Lake Charles Civic Center holds that much people.
I'm looking up the Cajun Dome capacity.
Yeah, it's way over that.
No, I don't think it is.
Yes.
Dude. Okay.
It's way bigger than the Civic Center.
So this is what it says: capacity 12,000.
Yeah.
Which is a little higher, but
a little higher.
Okay, well, still compared to the Toyota Center, it's very small.
I thought it would be more than 12, to be honest with you.
Well, this is the largest crowd for any single event was 13,500 fans who attended the Kenny Rogers concert.
Dang right they did.
Over in
the Gambler.
Over in Lafayette. So I still think 19,000. I'm assuming that's what the capacity is going to be.
Yeah.
Even 15,000. Hey, you know what? First show back on the road for WWE, 15,000 fans, they'll take it. You know what? They'll take a sold out crowd.
Yeah.
If they put butts in every seat in that building, they're going to take it. Yeah. So trust me, they're trying to get back on their ticket sales. They're trying to,
which they don't need after all these billion-dollar deals.
No, probably not. But also saw that WWE is actually bringing back promotions and raises and stuff like that. So they apparently had an employee meeting today.
Maybe they can call our company
or sometime this week. Yeah, I know, right?
We used to have somebody here that worked for WWE.
Yeah,
she left though.
Yeah, she just left. She literally just left a month ago. She was like the human resources. Yeah. She oversaw human resources of the entire company.
Yeah.
So anyway, SmackDown tomorrow night. I'm trying to look and see. I think there's a 6-man tag tomorrow night. Edge will be teaming up with Rey Mysterio and Dominic Mysterio. I think Edge was really looking forward to that. And they're going to be taking on Roman. I think it's Roman and Jimmy and Jey Uso, I believe. Let me look up. I got to look up SmackDown tomorrow. That'd
be a good match.
Yeah, that should be a good match. I suspect that will be the main event. But I'm looking up the whatchamacallit, I guess the match card.
Well, shout out to Ray. How can that guy still walk? I mean, you look at somebody like Matt Hardy, who has such trouble these days, even getting up off the mat, and then Ray's still doing his thing, man.
Bianca's also going to battle Carmella for the SmackDown Women's title tomorrow as well.
All right.
Big E, Kevin Owens, King, Shinsuke Nakamura, and Seth Rollins, those are the 4 SmackDown representatives in the Money in the Bank ladder match on Sunday. They'll fight in a fatal 4-way. So a few good matches there tomorrow night for SmackDown, but I'm ready to see how the fans are going to react to certain superstars and whatnot, and just I'm hoping it's going to be a hot crowd. That crowd in Austin last night for Fyter Fest, granted, the crowd obviously for AEW versus what we might see for WWE might be a little bit different, although since it's the first show back, might get some of those fans that went to AEW Dynamite in Austin or Fyter Fest night 1 in Austin go to SmackDown tomorrow night. So I think we'll definitely see a raucous crowd one way or the other, because it's the first time WWE has been anywhere outside of Florida in over a year and change now. So I'm really looking forward to SmackDown tomorrow night. I think it's going to be great. There were rumors of John Cena returning tomorrow night, but I think now those rumors have changed to where now they're expecting John Cena to come back next week, July 23rd, which is the Smackdown that's going to be in Cleveland, but also at the Rolling Loud Music Festival in Miami. I wonder if Cena's going to show up at the music festival. That would be he start rapping. You know, like the Thugonomics John Cena comes out, man. That would be awesome.
You know, it's funny how both of these companies treat their fans now that they have live fans again. Road Rager, I don't know if you saw this. Did you see that Stone Cold shirt that they kept showing on camera? Somebody was wearing like a Stone Cold shirt.
That was in the crowd?
Yeah.
I didn't notice, no.
Obviously, if that would have been on the other hand, if you're in WWE with a Kenny Omega shirt or I don't know, you're getting asked to either turn it inside out or you're getting thrown out.
Yeah, Marcus said, I'm just saying whoever they bring out tomorrow better be good because that first pop back on the road will be big. Yeah. I'll be curious to see like how they, obviously who they bring out first because that's kind of what they did at WrestleMania. They had fans at WrestleMania and they started off, of course it was 2 nights. The first night they started it off with McIntyre and Lashley for the WWE Championship in a huge match there. So I'll be curious to see how they really get it going. And then, I don't want to fast forward too much, but for Monday Night Raw, I hope the crowd brings some energy to Raw because if any of the shows need it right now, it's Monday Night Raw. They need that energy from the crowd, and hopefully, and that we're going to talk about this coming up in a little bit. I want to get to Money in the Bank first because I do want to go in chronological order here of the weekend. But there's a report of someone coming back probably on Monday Night Raw, and we're going to talk about that coming up in a little bit. I'm not too thrilled about the reports, but we'll talk about that. But let's move on now to Money in the Bank Sunday. It's going to be in Fort Worth, and a really big pay-per-view. I mean, if you take the big 4 out of the picture, this is the biggest pay-per-view of the year because, obviously, of the Money in the Bank contracts. You get the title shots. It's almost a guarantee that whoever wins it becomes the world champions, whether it's the men or the women. So I'm going to go down the match card here. AJ Styles and Omos will be taking on the Viking Raiders for the Raw Tag Team Championships. Roman Reigns will defend his Universal title against Edge. Rhea Ripley will defend the Raw Women's title against Charlotte Flair. And Bobby Lashley will defend the WWE Championship against Kofi Kingston. Interesting note about this particular match. This is only the 4th time in the history of, I think it's WWE, or maybe actually in all of wrestling, now that I think about it, that I saw on Twitter. The 4th time in the history of pro wrestling where, in a major promotion, that is, where 2 African Americans will face off one-on-one for a world championship. The last time it happened in WWE, can you guess the last time it happened in WWE for a world championship? And this includes WWE Championship, World Heavyweight Championship, Universal. Can you guess the last time this happened in WWE? 2 African Americans fought one-on-one for a world championship.
All right, so it makes me think it was a while back. I'm going to say Rocky Maivia and Farouk.
You went a little too far back.
Oh.
I'm talking about just WWE.
Yeah.
It was The Rock versus Booker T at SummerSlam, I think in 2001, for the World Heavyweight, which back then at the time was the WCW Championship. So interesting little fact I thought was pretty cool there. Yeah. First time. Now, this is the first time ever that the WWE Championship will have 2 African Americans fighting one-on-one for it. So this is a bit historical for that particular belt.
Why in the hell are they giving it to Kofi? I don't understand. Isn't he doing just tag team stuff right now?
Well, not necessarily. I mean, yeah, him and Xavier have been doing tag team stuff, but I think Bobby's kind of had some matches with Xavier, and then I think Xavier got a title shot, but he lost, and then now I think Kofi got thrown into the mix. And obviously Kofi's a former WWE champion. We had Kofi Mania a couple of years ago. So Bobby and Kofi are going to go one-on-one in a singles match on Sunday. Should be a good match. Looking forward to that. And then the 2 Money in the Bank ladder matches, the women's match, it's going to be Asuka, Naomi, Alexa Bliss, Nikki, ASH, or Ash. I don't know if what they're calling her, ASH or Ash, but I'll say Nikki Cross, Liv Morgan, Zelina Vega, Natalya, and then there was an open slot that was just filled actually earlier today, and a lot of people were hoping that maybe this slot would get filled by Becky Lynch, Well, folks, hate to disappoint you, but it has been filled by none other than Tamina Snuka. So, yes, I know everyone is thrilled about it, but nonetheless, Tamina Snuka has been thrown into the women's Money in the Bank ladder match. And then on the men's side, you got Ricochet, John Morrison, Riddle, Drew McIntyre, Big E, Kevin Owens, King Nakamura, and Seth Rollins. That's a really stacked ladder match right there. I'm really looking forward to that one. So, quickly, I kind of want to give some my predictions for at least the two Money in the Bank ladder matches.
Yeah.
First, the men. I would like to see Big E win it. I think it's time to give Big E that Money in the Bank briefcase. I'm not sure if I really want to pull the trigger on him winning. I don't see them giving it to Seth Rollins. I don't see Ricochet getting it. I don't see John Morrison getting it. Riddle could be interesting. Maybe Drew McIntyre. Maybe he'll finally get the belt back. I know there was talks of him winning the title back from Lashley at WrestleMania just so that he could get that title win in front of a crowd, because obviously he didn't get it last year at WrestleMania 36. So, which I think, that was 36. I've lost track now with the pandemic, but he didn't get that opportunity, obviously, this past year at WrestleMania in front of the fans. So maybe he wins Money in the Bank. He'll get the title shot at some point down the line and win it in front of fans. But I'll go ahead and go with my gut. I'll say Big E's going to win. I think it's time that, obviously he's been getting a bit of a singles push. He won the Intercontinental belt earlier this year, and I think it'll be good to have him with the Money in the Bank briefcase. And there's also obviously been rumors that he's going to go to Raw at some point. So maybe he'll go to Raw. Maybe he'll get in the WWE title picture, which I'm all for. So I'll go with Big E. You have a prediction maybe on the men?
You know what? This makes me depressed over something that you said. And it makes me want to go in the creative room and paintbrush everybody in there. That we've come to the point where we're like, there's no way Ricochet's getting it.
I know, it's
this
kind of
dude
sad.
is like the most fantastic wrestler to come out in years.
The most athletic, I gotta say, and I guess you could say he's fantastic, but
the matches that this guy would be able to put on, while wearing that belt,
he's just I guess he doesn't fit that mantra of.
I hope he doesn't resign. I don't know how much longer he has.
He's probably making some decent money, though.
I would imagine he is.
I'm sure he's well off.
But at the same time, he needs to go to a company that would push him to the moon.
Yeah, well, he's in the Money in the Bank ladder match, so granted that's...
Yeah, but just to fill a space like Tamina.
I think, but the thing is, a guy like Ricochet in a match like this, he's going to shine.
Oh, of course.
He'll shine. So
Ricochet is going to do his thing no matter what.
Yeah.
But at the same time, nobody's going to put the strap on him.
With that being said, you have a prediction maybe on this match?
Yeah, I agree with you, because we've been hearing for a while now that Vince likes Big E. And
everyone loves Big E. Big E's...
It's time for him to become champion.
Yeah, it's past time for him to get a world title run.
I would like to see him win the belt clean, but of course, with the Money in the Bank, obviously you're going to wait until the dude's already been beat down to cash in, so... I don't know, but yeah, probably Big E. Once I heard his name that was in the match, I was like, oh, they're setting up Big E.
Yeah, maybe so. But I think he's been in matches prior and hasn't won, so I don't know. But I'll go with Big E as well. And then in the women's, you know who I'd love to see win this? I would love to see
Tamina.
No, absolutely. She already has a belt. No. Liv Morgan. I would love to see Liv Morgan.
Oh, damn, Liv Morgan.
I think Liv Morgan is someone who definitely needs to be in a title picture. Also, maybe Naomi. I don't know. Alexa, first of all, I don't know if I'm digging this new Alexa at all. This new, she was with, obviously, The Fiend and whatnot and all that stuff. And, I miss the goddess.
Eva Marie said she's a rising star in the company.
Said Alexa is?
Yeah.
Well,
I think it's a dig, though. She's been there forever.
I guess you can say it's a dig because that's the first time I've heard that.
Yeah.
And I would say, what do you mean she's a rising star? She's a star.
Yeah.
There's no rise. She already rose. She was a star 3 or 4 years ago.
Yeah.
So I just missed the goddess, Alexa Bliss. That's all.
Yes.
But I'm going to go out on a limb here. I'm not sure she's going to win, but I'm going to go ahead and predict it. I'm going to manifest, and hopefully it happens. I'm going to go with Liv Morgan.
Speak it into existence.
Yes, I will speak it into existence. Just because, one, I would not be upset with seeing more Liv Morgan on television, and yeah, I would love to see some gold around her waist, man. It's I like me some Liv Morgan, not just because of how fine she is, but I enjoy watching her wrestle too. So I'm going to go ahead and just go out on a limb and say Liv Morgan's going to be Miss Money in the Bank, because just Natalya or Tamina, maybe I would be really mad if they put it on Natalya. I don't see him putting it on Tamina. Zelina Vega was another one I was thinking about. I was like, maybe, they brought her back, obviously, recently. Maybe they brought her back for a reason. Zelina would be my second pick. But, and then Nikki, Alexa's already won it, I believe. Asuka's been there, done that. Naomi's already won titles. So, like I said, Liv Morgan, maybe Zelina Vega. That would be my 1 and 2 picks if I was a gambling man. I'd maybe put a little more money on Liv Morgan and put a little less money on Zelina. But I'm going to go with Liv as the winner.
Yeah. You make a good point about Zelina. I think if you bring her back, you got to have some plans for her.
Yeah, like
Otherwise,
you let her go and then you bring her back. So, and that's the thing too. I find that WWE might do that sometimes. Like they bring back people or they return. Like just a thought off the top of my head, like they brought back the Hardy Boys at WrestleMania 17, and boom, right off the gate they win the Raw Tag Team Championships. Now, granted, they've won multiple championships. Yeah, they're the Hardy Boys. And granted, this is a little different. This is Zelina Vega, so I don't know. And she's never been in a title picture or anything like that. She's actually, she's barely wrestled. She's spent most of her WWE career as the manager to Andrade. So that's what makes me maybe kind of question it. But at the same time, you let her go and then you just brought her back. So you got to have something going for her.
Yeah.
Maybe she wins Miss Money in the Bank.
Yeah. I think I'm going to go with Zelina on this one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Not a bad pick. Not a bad pick. So, yeah, Money in the Bank, Sunday night on Peacock. I tell you, that's one thing that's not over. That's Peacock.
Yeah.
WWE on Peacock, and I'm not a fan either, but whatever. I got it at a pretty cheap deal.
Have they started adding more content to it?
I really don't know. Like, I have not. The last time I was on Peacock, I think, was for WrestleMania.
You just watch pay-per-views?
No, I just watched WrestleMania. Like, the last couple of pay-per-views, I don't even think. Well, maybe I did watch one. I might have watched Hell in a Cell a little bit.
So they're just getting that $4.99 every month, though.
Well, when I signed up, I did a special deal. It was like, I don't know. It was it was a deal like where I paid $4.99 or like $8.99 for the next 4 months or something. So like I kind of got it for like $2.99 a month or $1.99 a month or something like that. I got like a special deal.
All right.
So I might cancel it after SummerSlam though.
Yeah.
And just pick it back up maybe like around Survivor Series so I can get Survivor Series and then I'll watch.
I got a website you can go watch the pay-per-views for free.
Okay. Well, I don't mind giving WWE a little bit of my money. I mean, they've given me many years.
They don't need it.
You're right. They probably don't, but they've given me many years of great memory. So I feel like I owe it to them a little bit, especially since I don't have to pay, $50-$60 anymore for a pay-per-view.
And you own stock in the company, so you are a
I don't
minority owner.
I don't own stock.
Oh, I thought you did.
And I never owned any stock.
Oh,
no.
As much as you talk about WWE stock when I came in here, when this used to be your old office.
Yeah.
Because you were always like, WWE's up $6.
Yeah.
I always thought you were like, I'm making money.
Yeah, but I was always just looking at the stock price just because I was interested in getting into the stock market.
Yeah.
And ultimately I did, but I just never bought any WWE stock because it was, by the time I got into the stock market, like the price had already kind of like jumped up compared to, because I had watched it for a little while. And I was like, nah, it's too high. I can't.
You couldn't get a free stock WWE on Robinhood?
I got a free stock, but it was ADT. It wasn't WWE.
Okay.
I didn't get that. No, because I don't even think WWE, they would have even offered a free stock. Like, the stocks they offer for free are stocks that are probably like under $10 a share. And WWE was well above that. So anyway, yes. Money in the Bank.
Yes.
Sunday, Fort Worth. Should be fun.
Zelina's hot.
And then on Monday, we got Monday Night Raw. Like I was saying earlier, I just hope they have a good crowd and they bring some energy to Monday Night Raw because Monday Night Raw needs it. And after the reports I've heard earlier this afternoon about who's going to be coming back, Yeah, well, Marcus also agrees with me about Liv. He says, you and me both. It's Liv time. Give her a push, but ain't nobody meaner than Tamina. Yeah, you're right about that, Marcus. Yeah, I think it's time for some Liv Morgan. I kind of missed that.
Boy, Liv Morgan OnlyFans.
You remember when they would run those vignettes and she was like in the tub? And
Boy,
like, where's that? I want that Liv Morgan. Give me that Liv Morgan. That's what I want.
Nothing on but the belt. That'd be nice.
Yeah, don't get me started. But yeah, Monday Night Raw. Hopefully the fans in Dallas bring some energy. And there's now reports that came out earlier today. We've been talking about the speculation for SummerSlam. And obviously Cena and Reigns for the Universal title, I think, is what is expected. And there was expected to be a WWE Championship match between Bobby Lashley and Brock Lesnar. Well, now there's a new report coming out that next week there will be a return of Goldberg. And that Goldberg, yes, and he will be returning to challenge Bobby Lashley for the WWE Championship at SummerSlam. And I was really hyped about the possibility of Lashley and Lesnar because I feel like that fight or that match has been a long time coming. And I feel like that's box office, in my opinion. I mean, that's two big dudes who can legitimately fight. And, you know, you got it right. I mean, you got it right there in the palm of your hands. And first of all, we haven't even seen Brock Lesnar since WrestleMania 36. We haven't seen Brock Lesnar in over a year. And I was like, okay, fans are coming back. We're going to get Brock coming back, which, granted, we might eventually get Brock back. I was hoping it'd be for SummerSlam, but now it appears we're going to get Goldberg back, and he's going to be wrestling Bobby Lashley. And I hope Bobby Lashley annihilates him and eventually sends him off. And don't get me wrong, like, I loved Goldberg when he was, you know, in his prime.
WCW Goldberg.
Yes, WCW Goldberg was awesome, but it's 2021, okay? I don't need Goldberg fighting for world championships. If Goldberg wants to come back and annihilate people for fun, that's fine. But world championships, no. I don't know what their thought process is when let's bring Goldberg back. Like, is he moving the needle that much somewhere that they're like, well, let's bring in Goldberg for another world championship match?
The Saudi prince might have cut another check.
Well,
said, hey, why don't you bring Goldberg back? I got this.
Maybe, and you know, a while ago you said something about how they don't need the money. Why are they, you know, why would the Saudi prince, granted, if they're doing a show in Saudi Arabia, yeah, I understand that.
The Saudi prince has Peacock. He wants to see Goldberg. He probably tried to cut a check for Undertaker too. Hey, but Brock Lesnar, he's like, I'm good, bruh. I'm here hunting. I'm here slicing up pigs. I'm growing ponytails, and I'm banging Sable.
Marcus had a funny little comment. He said, haha, Liv, you said something about her posing with just the belt.
Yeah.
He put, haha, Liv isn't going to do that. Paige already beat them to the punch with the belts. Paige did a little something more with that belt. I think they had some juices that fell on that NXT Women's Championship back in the gap.
Lord.
But back to Goldberg, you know, there's reports of him coming back, and I don't know, the fans are just going to I'm afraid the fans are going to just crap all over him. And at the same time, like, I don't mind the fans crapping on him, but I almost feel for Goldberg because, like, he's supposed to be this big attraction, you know, kind of. And Lashley is obviously going to be the heel here, so Goldberg is going to come back and be the face. But the fans are going to, I feel like the fans are just going to crap all over him just because we don't want to see Goldberg anymore, at least not fighting for world titles. I don't mind seeing Goldberg in some capacity, but not for a world championship. Give me Lesnar versus Lashley. The fans are going to eat that up. But Goldberg, and then we've seen how fragile Goldberg is in the ring. He's not the 97 Goldberg anymore. It's 2021. Like, he almost killed The Undertaker in Saudi Arabia.
I would love to see some HGH-infused Goldberg come back, looking like a total Adonis like he did in WCW. That'd be great.
It would be, I guess, but it's just he can't.
Give that old man some performance-enhancing drugs. Someone.
He just can't go at the high level that he once could anymore. If he could, that's a different story. But he can't. Like, we've seen time and time again, him in the ring the last few years, he doesn't have it anymore. He can go for 2 minutes, and then that's it. Like, like I said, if he could sit there and go for a good 10, 15, even 20 minutes and look fresh, then yeah, sure, I would be okay, with Goldberg coming back. But time and time again, he's come back and proven that, he'll spear you for 5 minutes and then hit you with a jackhammer and win the match. And that there's, oh, who didn't see that coming?
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's I'm just not. I was so thrilled about the possibility of Lashley and Lesnar, and I'm gonna watch Raw on Monday. Just obviously because the crowds are back and everything. But man, I'm praying and hoping that whoever reported that, I think it was Fightful Select, actually, so Sean Ross Sapp over there, I'm praying that he's wrong. He's usually not, but I'm praying he's wrong.
We're not dealing with Dave Meltzer here.
Yeah, so I'm praying that Sean Ross Sapp
Dave.
is wrong for once, and that maybe we'll get Lesnar and Lashley, but I don't know.
What if Goldberg comes out, right? Lesnar F5s him from behind on the ramp, and Lesnar goes in for the match.
Okay, then, yeah, now we're talking here. Now somebody needs to hire this guy here,
Yes.
David Boston. Hire this guy to book the show.
Oh, they have an opening. That chick got fired.
Yeah, it's true.
But yeah, that would be pretty cool.
Yeah, that would be cool. I would like that because obviously, hey, the Lesnar and Goldberg have their history together. So, but yeah, overall, I'm looking forward to the weekend. Tomorrow night, SmackDown, Money in the Bank, and then also Monday Night Raw in front of crowds, and then also this weekend, Impact Slammiversary Saturday night. So Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, you're gonna get 4 straight days of some good wrestling. At least I hope. And that's what, including Raw. So let's talk about Slammiversary now a little bit. Saturday night, obviously, Slammiversary last year was where a lot of the WWE talent that got let go showed up. Well, I expect we'll have at least one show up on Saturday night, but let's go through.
We got teased in that package earlier this year that Samoa Joe was going to show up at Slammiversary.
Well, now he's in NXT getting
exactly.
So, but
bunch of liars.
Yeah, the match card for Slammiversary: Eddie Edwards taking on W. Morrissey in a singles match. Fire and Flava, which is Kiera Hogan and Tasha Steelz, taking on Havoc and Rosemary for the Impact Knockouts Tag Team Championship. Violent by Design, which is Eric Young, Diener, Joe Doring, or Rhino, it says, will be, let's see, 4-way tag. I'm trying to read how this is. Oh, taking on Rich Swann and Willie Mack and TJP and Falaba. Is that how you say it? Falaba? Mm-hmm. And the Good Brothers, a 4-way tag team match for the Impact World Tag Team Championship. So I guess Violent by Design, it's going to be Eric Young, Diener, Joe Doring, or Rhino. 2 of those 4 will be in that match. Deonna Purrazzo will defend her Impact Knockouts Championship. It says TBA, so maybe a former women's wrestler from WWE shows up and challenges her. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know what the word is on that. Chris Sabin will be taking on Moose in a singles match. The Ultimate X match. We talked about this about a month ago. The return of the Ultimate X match for the Impact X Division Championship. Josh Alexander versus Petey Williams versus Trey Miguel versus Ace Austin versus Chris Bay versus Rohit Raju.
That's going to be so good.
Yeah, that should be really fun. And then, of course, the main event will be Kenny Omega taking on Sami Callihan for the Impact World Championship. What's your thoughts on you follow Impact a little closer than I do. Anything that sticks out to you? What you thinking about this show coming up on Saturday?
Well, I mean, that Ultimate X match is going to be insane. All of those dudes can freaking go.
Yeah.
And they're all, I mean, even though, we found out in the past, I think it was Brinkman, even though the X division doesn't mean cruiserweights, all of these guys are small. So it's going to be high action, high octane.
Yeah, and I forgot what the slogan was. At least back in the mid 2000s, Brink got me on to some of these X division matches, and they were great. And it was not necessarily there's no weight. It's not like a weight limit, but no limit or something like it. Basically, the X division championship or the X division means like you're willing to go to any height or any I don't know. I can't think of a word to use, but basically you'll go through anything to win the match. Like it's all, not necessarily anything goes, but anything goes.
Yeah,
in a sense. But I don't even know how much the pay-per-view is. I would seriously consider buying it because I think it's gonna be a really good show.
Yeah.
I mean, it's one of their big shows of the year. But I'll follow along somewhere online and just kind of follow the action as I go.
Yeah,
but. Yeah, that's going to be, like I said, it's a big weekend of pro wrestling. Slammiversary Saturday night, going to be a big show. I suspect Kenny Omega will retain.
Oh, of course.
I really don't know who's going to take the Impact World title off of him. I really don't.
It's going to have to be another heel because it's going to have to, somebody's going to have to take it in heelish ways.
Yeah.
They're going to have to low blow him while the ref isn't looking, or they're going to have somebody that's in their crew come in and whack him with the belt. Or something like that. There's no way anybody in Impact can go over clean on Kenny Omega.
No, not right now, at least. And I'm, trying to look, unless they, if they get more, they sign more wrestlers, or I don't know, maybe we'll get a special someone. I'm trying to think of who could just show up.
Now, the last time that he fought Moose, the Good Brothers had to come in, and I think that was. Is that when the Young Bucks came too? And they interfered in the match?
I'm not sure. I can't recall. Off the top of my head.
I'm thinking Moose could probably take it from him eventually. That's really the only guy they got there.
Yeah.
That's believable to a certain point. But wouldn't it be great if somebody from AEW's women division showed up for that TBA?
Yeah, that would be cool too. Like maybe a Thunder Rosa,
yes,
or maybe a Ty Conti.
Oh my God, Ty Conti.
Yes, I'm just trying to think of who else. So one of the
or even in NWA, you bring Camille over there, and maybe she's like, I'm the female belt collector.
I was trying to think of some women from WWE that got let go. Maybe one of the Iconics show up.
Okay,
possibly.
Okay,
that's my thought. Maybe Peyton Royce, who is now Cassie Lee,
God,
or Billy Kay. I forgot what Billy Kay's new name is.
Doesn't matter. It's all about Peyton Royce.
Yeah, I guess so. But or Cassie Lee.
Cassie Lee.
Get it right. I think I'm pretty sure it's Cassie Lee. Cassie Lee might be Billy Kay's new name. I don't know. I get them mixed up. They're both gorgeous.
They're both Australian.
Yeah,
they look alike.
But yeah, I'm thinking maybe one of those two. I would go with Peyton Royce or Cassie Lee, assuming that's her new name. But
so the TBA's got to be some kind of surprise, right?
Yeah, unless tonight they announce it on Impact. They could announce, because I think they did that last time.
Yes, they did.
They announced it. So maybe tonight on Impact on Twitch or Access TV, if you watch Impact tonight.
What's Serena Deeb doing? That'd be great to have her.
Well, she's the NWA World Women's Champion.
No, she lost it to Camille.
Oh, yes, true. Camille did win. Okay, I don't know.
Camille Brickhouse in the house.
Yeah, maybe so. So that should be a fun surprise for the fans in attendance there. The show will be in Nashville. I think Sean Ross Sapp, I saw he was tweeting, he was out there on the Strip. He was looking for a good place to eat. I've never been to Nashville, so I couldn't answer that question for you.
I bet you there's tons of barbecue over there, though.
Oh, absolutely. Barbecue and country music.
Go on Beale Street, man.
That's in Memphis.
Oh, that is Memphis, isn't it?
Yeah. I've been to Memphis. I've never been to Beale Street, but I know Beale Street is in Memphis.
And then the four-way tag match, do you think the Good Brothers are going to lay down the title since they're wanting to go to Japan for a little bit? Maybe give it to Violent by Design?
Well, Violent by Design is the champs.
Oh, they are?
Yeah.
Are you sure?
Yeah, that's what it says right here. They have the C next to their name.
Oh, well, I thought the Good Brothers were Impact champs.
They were, but I think they lost it to Violent by Design.
Oh, okay.
So there you go. I don't know who would win that. I don't know. Maybe Rich Swann and Willie Mack. Rich Swann was the world champ, so maybe they like, hey, let's give him a...
Yeah, both of those are really good.
Let's give him another belt to run with, him and Willie Mack.
Yeah.
I'm looking up... I was getting ready to go to the Fighter Fest session. I was getting ready to pull up the Night 1 recap. Unless you got anything else to say about Slammiversary.
No.
Okay, well, then let's move on. Last night, AEW Fighter Fest in Austin or Cedar Park, whatever you want to call it. But really good show last night. The crowd was so hot. Started off with Jon Moxley and Carl Anderson. The crowd was just super hot for Jon Moxley. This was a very New Japan-like match, kind of stiff and everything. And, you were talking about how, maybe they give it back to Carl because, Carl never had it, but they give it to Carl so he could take it back to Japan.
Because he got billed from Tokyo, Japan.
Yeah, he got billed from Tokyo, and, of course, he has his hot Asian wife.
You know he does.
But Moxley retains last night. He's going to be fighting Lance Archer for it next week, which is the guy he took it from, I believe.
And what is this? Wrestlers can book their own matches now? What's going on here? Tony Khan?
Well, maybe over in AEW they let the inmates run the asylum.
You can't have like some kind of like Tony Khan just couldn't say, "Hey, I like that. Let's do it." Mm-hmm. Where it just sounds like the wrestlers are booking their own matches.
Yeah, but I don't know. But
I mean, who's to stop -1 from booking himself into a title match?
I don't know, but I do know one thing. Moxley successfully defended his belt for, I think, the 5th or 6th time, which is the most successful title defenses of any IWGP US Heavyweight Champion since they introduced the belt a couple of years ago. Also, Andrade, he called out Death Triangle last night, too.
Yeah. Oh, before we move away from John Moxley, 2 observations. 1, I think he ate a little bit too much of the Cincinnati chili when he was at home. Because he came out...
He was a little bulky. And it looks like he's finally given up on his hair follicles. Now, he wasn't completely bicked, like shaving all the way down. Yeah. But he definitely took the clippers to it and said, F this hair. Yeah, I mean, he might have... like I think he has a receding hairline, and I know all about that. So maybe...
like, he would look good if he came out just like cue ball head. Well,
at one point, he had the look like... somebody had shared a picture that he kind of looked like Triple H. Like he had a bald head and he had the big puffy beard and stuff, which it's much different than he looked about 5 years ago. But,
get on the treadmill, John.
Yeah, but yeah, Andrade called out Death Triangle last night
with subtitles.
Yeah,
big ass white subtitles.
But you know what? I'm okay with the subtitles because obviously he speaks better English than he does, better Spanish than he does English.
Yes.
And I'm okay with the subtitles. Like as long as we know what he's saying, it's fine. So I was cool with that. Let me get the hell out of this. Right. Okay, here we go. So he called out Death Triangle. We didn't see anything from Death Triangle though last night. This one was an interesting match. Ricky Starks and Brian Cage for the FTW Championship. Ultimately, we got a little bit of a swerve. Hook.
Screw job.
Yeah, Hook and Powerhouse Hobbs were at ringside, and at one point Starks went to grab the belt, I guess, to use it on Cage, and Hobbs was like, nah, don't use the belt. And then Hook ended up distracting the ref. Hobbs then hits Cage with the FTW belt. Ricky Starks gives him a spear, new FTW World Champion, and now it seems like they're trying to kick Brian Cage out.
Themselves.
Yeah, they're going to distance themselves from Brian Cage, which I'm okay with. Now Brian Cage will, I guess, maybe he'll feud with Team Taz a little bit, but then ultimately he'll turn out to be the face there. But I don't know. The crowd was really hot for Ricky Starks last night.
Yeah.
But Cage seems like he might, at some point, maybe not in the next couple of weeks, but ultimately he's not going to have his own little singles run as he seems that he's going to be distancing himself from Team Taz.
Seems like they're positioning him to become the guy that takes the belt off of Kenny.
Maybe so. That could be a possibility. I could see that. Unless Hangman takes it off of him, but
I don't know, it's still too early. This Kenny Omega is gold.
Yeah. He's been having a really good run. Then next up, Cody Rhodes, he called out Malachi Black. Of course, last week debuted, kicked Arn Anderson's head off, and then kicked Cody's head off. And Cody came out fired up. He's like, hey, there's a lot of things we do here, but what we don't do is kick 62-year-old men in the head, this and that. Basically calls out Malachi Black. Malachi comes out, and he cut a little promo on the screen. Now, the one thing that kind of caught me off guard is when you see Malachi Black and just his attire and his total physical appearance, and then you hear him talk, it's like his voice, to me, his voice just doesn't match the gimmick.
Yes.
A little bit. That's just me. I thought he cut a fine promo. I think he drug it out a little bit longer than I would have liked, but he got to the point and it was it was
anticlimactic.
I wouldn't say it was anticlimactic. I think once he made his point, it was like, ooh, he kind of got a little bit of ooh out of me, But I think he could have, definitely put a little pep in his step with the promo, but his voice just like and I don't want to compare him to The Undertaker, but like The Undertaker, you look at The Undertaker and then you hear him talk like it's like, ooh, that's the voice I expected to come out of him.
Yeah.
But Malachi Black, not so much. But he cut a fine promo. He's going to make up for it with his in-ring work. It'll be fine, but just a thought I had that, but then he comes out. Well, lights go out, and then he appears in the ring. They start brawling for a little bit. It gets broken up. But I enjoyed that segment because Cody was fired up. Malachi said, oh, and then Cody was like, hey, come down to the ring, take a better look or whatever the case may be. And Malachi said, I was hoping you'd say that. And the lights go out. He shows up. They brawl. They're building that up pretty good so far. I'm liking what they're doing with that feud.
I don't get why they're still giving any, I guess, what's the word that I'm looking for here? Why do they keep saying Tommy End? He wasn't Tommy End in WWE.
No.
Nobody knew him when he was on the Indies. Nobody knows Tommy End, really.
Well,
they know Aleister Black. They know Malachi Black. Nobody
Yeah.
gives a damn about Tommy End. Stop saying Tommy End.
Well, I think the storyline, this is what I think they're trying to do with this, is that they are, Malachi Black is like is Tommy End's alter ego, is what I think they're trying to do. I think he's Tommy End at the end of the day, no pun intended, but right now we're dealing with his alter ego, Malachi Black.
Okay.
Maybe they're trying to do like
gotcha.
He's kind of like maybe I don't know, like what they call that, schizophrenic, where he's got like multiple personalities.
Yeah.
And like right now we're getting the Malachi Black personality, but deep inside he's really Tommy End. But right now we're getting Malachi Black. That's my take on it. I think
that would be pretty good.
Yeah.
I don't know if they're doing that, but it makes sense now.
Yeah, well, I'm glad I can make it make sense for you. So I think that's what they're doing. I might be wrong, but that's just the impression I'm getting watching it. So,
and you know what? Thinking back to the promo that he did in the insane asylum, it makes sense because they kept calling him Tom, and he was like, "My name's Malachi."
Yeah.
So maybe he was in his other, personality.
Yeah, very much so. But they brawled. And then it was broken up, and that was pretty much the end of that. And then let's see, I'm trying to scroll down here, see what was next. So, Hangman Page had did a little interview with Hangman Page.
Yeah. I fast forwarded past that. Was anything good?
Yeah, actually, it was pretty good because he starts talking about how he wants to challenge. Well, he's getting ready to say he's going to challenge Kenny Omega, but then Don Callis interrupts him. He's like, you're not going to challenge anybody or whatever the case may be. So Don Callis and the entire Elite comes out, and they all start kind of taking their jabs at Hangman Page, this and that. Well, Matt Jackson gets in the ring. He's like, if you don't mind, I'm going to say what I got to say to his face. And
snap.
Gets in the ring, gets in his face, and start talking about, you remember us? We're your friends that you abandoned. And he kind of like, he's like, if and he said, it smells like you're still hitting the bottle pretty hard and this and that. And ultimately Matt's like, you want to hit me? Why don't you go ahead and hit me? And well, then Hangman obliges and hits him. And then all hell breaks loose. And a couple of the Elite guys try to get in the ring, and Hangman fights him off. Well, then Kenny gets in the ring behind him with the belt and is kind of getting ready to, smack Hangman with the belt. Well, then here comes the Dark Order, makes the save, and Kenny goes running. And then basically, what was it? A challenge was then laid down. It was there's going to be a 5-on-5 elimination match. I don't know if it's going to be next week or let me see. I'm going to look it up real quick. But there's going to be a 5-on-5 match. Hangman said it's going to be me and 4 of the Dark Order members versus you and your guys. If I win, I get the title shot, and Dark Order gets a tag team title shot against the Young Bucks. But then Omega flipped it back and said, well, if you lose, you don't get a title shot at all. You go basically, I don't think he said it, but he pretty much meant you go to the back of the line. You're not getting a title shot anytime soon. So you lose your chance of getting a title shot, this and that. So I don't know if that match is going to be next week. I'm looking through
with his cowboy gimmick, he should have said you go riding off into the sunset.
Yeah, that might be in a few weeks or anything. But yeah, I guess you Could say that. But that was a pretty interesting segment, I thought, as well. And then they had a couple of other matches that I kind of didn't really pay that much attention to.
Yeah, there was a girls' match.
I mean, I like looking at Penelope Ford, but I didn't. I was like, whatever.
Cute little Asian chick.
Yeah, Emi Sakura. Yeah, she is very cute.
Very small as well.
Yeah, but she was. I mean, she was pretty good. I enjoy her. So
where's Kip Sabian? Is he still wrestling?
I don't. I think he might be hurt.
Oh, really?
I don't know.
Because I noticed, I was like, where's Kip?
Yeah, I haven't seen him around. He might be hurt. I really don't know.
I watched Penelope walk to the ring, and then I fast-forwarded.
I watched a little bit of it, but I was doing laundry, so like I had it on my iPad, but I was like listening at the same time and whatnot, so I kind of paid somewhat attention. But then the main event was...
The coffin match.
Yeah, the coffin match. The coffin match was nice. I like the coffin match. Ultimately, Darby Allin won. And then
after getting the hell beat out of him.
Yeah, he did kind of get the hell beat out of him. They fought her. It was a really good match. I was expecting a coffin drop onto the coffin during the match, but it did not happen. But he got on his skateboard, and I don't know if it had thumbtacks underneath it or not. But
it had wheels. Yeah,
and then he basically jumped off the turnbuckle, landed on the back of Ethan Page, and Ethan Page fell into the coffin, and he closed it. He won the match, but then he moved it. He went up the top turnbuckle and did the coffin drop onto the coffin while Ethan Page was still inside of it. So that was a pretty cool spot.
Scorpio Sky came out of the coffin in the very beginning.
Yeah, in the very beginning as well. Cool. So, yeah. Oh, they had Matt Hardy and Christian last night, too.
Dude. So, like, I'm thinking to myself, Sting is 62 years old. Looks great.
Yeah.
Christian looks amazing in the ring. He's getting his stride back.
Oh, yeah, Christian can still go.
I feel so bad for Matt Hardy, bro.
Why's that?
What do you mean? Like, he can barely get off the mat. You can tell he's stiff as a board. He's probably got so many back issues. I just feel bad for him, man.
Yeah, I mean, hey, look. Have you seen his wife lately?
Yeah, I know. I would be home. I'd be like, look, I made all this money.
Well, I'm
going to go on the convention tour and make a ton of money.
Yeah, I think Rebby's pregnant again. Or they just had another kid.
Why wouldn't she be?
But nonetheless, like I said, if you've seen her, Matt's doing okay. I mean,
yeah, I know, but
he's making that money, and he wrestles. He doesn't wrestle all the time, but you know, he's obviously running the Hardy family office with Private Party, the Butcher and the Blade. I think he's got the Hybrid 2 in there as well.
He just needs to be a mouth. They need to keep him out of the ring.
Well, he kind of is for the most part. I mean,
until his brother. No, they got him doing matches on Dark. He fought Fuego de Sol the other day on Dark.
Yeah, but hey, look, let's put it this way: as long as Matt Hardy feels like he can still wrestle, then hey, more power to him.
I would say give him like a year off, let his body heal as much as it can.
Yeah.
Because he said, and I don't know how much Jeff has left on his contract, but he said he wants to finish his career the way it started, Hardy Boys reunion in AEW.
I would love that.
Yeah.
So that could be a possibility.
Let that man rest a little bit.
Yeah, maybe so. But yeah, so that happened last night as well. Christian actually got his first one-on-one victory. I thought that was an interesting point.
Well, he looked good, too.
Yeah, he got his first one-on-one victory against Matt Hardy ever. They've shared the ring, I think they said, over 200 times they've shared the ring. And this was the first time that Christian ever got a one-on-one victory over Matt Hardy. So congrats to Christian on getting that win. But let's move forward now to next week, Fyter Fest Night 2. That'll be in Garland, Texas. Britt Baker taking on Nyla Rose for the AEW Women's World Championship. Also, John Moxley and Lance Archer for the IWGP US Championship in a Texas death match.
What does that entail?
I don't know.
Apparently, that's where John won it within a Texas death match, but I don't even remember what happened in that one.
Yeah, I'm not sure either, but I do know one thing. Moxley cut a promo last night, and he said something about, yeah, you're Texas born and bred, but next week you're Texas dead. So I thought that was kind of clever. Chris Jericho taking on Shawn Spears. This is part one of MJF's 5-layer stipulate things that Jericho's got to go through. And Shawn can use a chair, but Jericho can't in this match. So
the chairman.
This is step 1 of 5 for Jericho if he wants to be able to get his hands on MJF. The Blade will take on Orange Cassidy in a one-on-one match, and I think that's all I see right now. Is the
Bunny going to be out there too?
I'm sure, yeah.
God bless her.
Well, I don't know. Usually it'll say, like, if he's coming to if somebody's accompanying them to the ring, they'll show up in the graphic, but I don't see her on the graphic, so. Yeah, God bless her. She's been posting some good stuff on
be
her,
nice
on Instagram.
if her and Chris Statlander get into a tussle.
Yeah, that wouldn't surprise me either, because obviously Chris has been accompanying Orange Cassidy, the bunny, with the blade. So yeah. Okay, so yeah, that's Fyter Fest night 2.
That's going to be a damn good card.
Oh yeah, AEW's been stacking these cards all month long for their little back on the road tour, so to speak.
I wonder if we're going to get, something with Andrade and the Death Triangle that night. You
Maybe
think he's
so.
going to bring in some of his friends from like AAA? Triple A?
It's possible, but I don't suspect that they'll bring any. Not yet. I haven't seen any people from AAA as of like when the company started. They had the working relationship with them. You'd see everybody a lot, but that's back when they were still trying to fill the roster. Now they kind of got a full roster, so they really don't need to get those guys over.
Well, they
there.
got Conan over there now. Conan owns some of AAA. So maybe it's still alive, baby.
It could be, yeah, it could be. All right.
That was my Dusty Rhodes.
Baby.
Was it good?
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Okay.
You know who does a good Dusty Rhodes?
Who?
Sting.
Really?
Yeah, he did. It was back kind of when after he first debuted.
Yeah.
He got into the ring and he started doing a promo, and like he kind of started doing Dusty Rhodes. He does a damn good Dusty Rhodes.
Sting does everything great.
All right, I'm looking for our last topic here.
Yes.
There we go.
Are you trying to log into the website?
No, I'm just looking for like a news article about it, but nonetheless, so Sunny,
Yes.
Tammy Sitch, as her real name, she has an OnlyFans, and she is looking for co-stars. Let me see. I'm looking.
I saw something with the number 300K. Is she making that a month or a year on this OnlyFans?
What was the number?
300K. Because I know somebody made like $1 million in a day. Who was that? Some star.
Was it Bella Thorne, maybe?
No. It was Catch Me Outside girl.
Oh, yeah. When she turned 18.
Yeah.
So Sunny, this is what the article says. Sunny was making a killing on OnlyFans just over a year ago. The original diva was racking in 6 figures every 6 weeks from her exclusive photo and video drops.
Damn.
There was a time where she had over 2.1 thousand, so 2,100 fans subscribing for $30 a month or less if they subscribe for multiple months. Then she was locked up and it all had to end. It didn't take her long to get back on the OnlyFans wagon. She started bombing her social media with posts about her OnlyFans account, and Thirsty for News ran a piece on it. Then her subscriber count jumped dramatically. It seems that Sunny needs some help in producing her new content. She's looking for both guys and girls to co-star with her for some pics and videos. We'll have to see who she chooses to fill that position. Sunny received over 50 replies to this tweet. Some people were trolling a bit, as one wrote, "Wonder if the Hulkster is willing to drop a third leg or drop the third leg." And
So
another
only 50 replies?
Oh, it says received over 50 replies, and that was probably just initially.
Wonder how many
just to the tweet. I mean, I'm
how
sure
many DMs she got.
I was about to say, I'm sure she got a lot more DMs.
Yeah.
And another quipped, "Are these for workout pics and videos? Because I like keeping fit." She also had some people who were serious about applying. As of this writing, it doesn't look like Sunny has responded to anyone publicly. Stay tuned for more of Sunny's social media adventures.
So these people that are going to be in the pictures and videos, are they banging?
It's possible.
Like, are we getting penetration?
Maybe.
Yeah, look, as soon as I saw this story, I hit you up, Patrick.
Oh, I know you did.
And I posted it in our group, and I said, dog, if anything would ever put our podcast over, would be you getting on this OnlyFans, and mid-bang, you tell her, say it! And she's like, Amp Wrestling Podcast.
Yeah, that's a long shot from hell right there, but that would be, so you want to talk about epic, that would be, I mean, that I might as well die after that because there was nothing else that I could accomplish more epic than that.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I debated on just like seeing where I could maybe like apply, just like see what would happen. Because I mean, obviously,
Yes.
it's a long shot.
Would you politely decline if you got accepted?
I don't know what I would do. I really don't. I'd be like you got to understand, once in a lifetime opportunity. Granted, this is not Sonny of 25 years ago. If it was Sonny of 25 years ago, I even brought that up in the group. Imagine if Sonny 25 years ago had access to like OnlyFans and stuff like this.
I don't
Can
know,
you imagine
That picture she posted in her kitchen with that referee shirt kind of unbuttoned, she's still really hot.
Yeah, she's still definitely.
I mean, she's not, Best Butt Slammy Award winner, Sonny.
Yeah, she still looks good for her age.
Yeah.
But like, I mean, in her prime, she was like.
Oh, God.
I mean, you can't. Now, I wonder if maybe she has like some old nudes and stuff from when she was in her prime, like just kind of laying around. Like, I gotta find some of these old.
Didn't she do
nudes.
Playboy?
I don't remember.
Yeah, she did Playboy.
I'm gonna have to go look that up.
Like, there's a video on YouTube of her kind of like unzipping her shorts and not really mooning people, but she showed some skin and then she walked back up like in the gorilla position, and then JR is like, What was that? Did she just drop her drawers? And then the King's like, I think so.
Yeah.
And then he was like, Hellfire, I missed everything.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I always miss the good stuff. But yeah, folks, she is looking for co-stars. So if you think you got
Marcus Talbert.
Yeah, Marcus, if you're still listening, Marcus, hit her up, man. You never know. You never know.
Put this podcast over, Marcus.
Yeah, put the podcast over, man. Our number one fan, Marcus Talbert, bro. If for some reason or some way somehow Marcus decides to apply and get, and you know what, anybody, and you even posted it. If anybody gets to be on Sonny's OnlyFans and gets to do stuff with her, we want to interview you on the podcast. We want you to come on and just tell all. We want to hear about the experience. We just want to hear about it.
Yes.
And because I can tell you right now, it probably won't be me, but I wish it. I kind of wish it could be me, but it won't be.
Can you imagine the stories if Dabbin Aladdin gets in there?
That would be awesome.
That would be epic.
I don't know if he's messing with wrestling anymore, so he might not even be aware that she's looking. Well, he got a girlfriend too, so.
Yeah, but he's probably thinking just like you. This is a once in a lifetime opportunity. This is freaking Sonny.
Yeah, if you don't know who Dabbin Aladdin is, he was the wrestling fan that caught a lot of flack for at a Double or Nothing a couple of years ago for
she's a dude.
Yeah, for saying Nyla Rose was a dude or something like that or some crazy shit, but. It was quite wild.
Yeah.
But he hasn't been doing wrestling content ever since the pandemic, so I don't know if he's in tune with the wrestling community anymore. But yeah, anybody that ends up doing stuff with Sonny on her OnlyFans, hit us up, man. We want to know about it. And
now, did she say on that tweet that she was really into exercising?
I don't know. I didn't.
Is that what you read?
Or
is that what somebody said?
I think that was one of the replies.
Oh, okay.
So somebody was like, is this going to be for workout videos?
Because, I mean, she's done porn.
Yeah.
And then she's done almost every wrestler on the planet, so she's down to go.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
You know what I mean? This has to be, like, hardcore stuff.
I would think so, yeah, unless she needs people to help produce it or whatever the case may be. I don't know, but... Maybe I'll hit her up. Maybe I'll hit her up and say, "Hey, you need a cameraman? I can do that."
She just sets up her cell phone. That's all you need. Tripod and a cell phone.
Yeah, it's really not that hard.
Or is it?
No pun intended.
Yeah. So if if anybody out there gets on with Sonny, you hit your boys up because we want to talk to you.
Yes, we do.
Well, I think that's the show, huh?
Yeah, that's the show.
All right, make sure you help your boys out because we know you shop at Amazon. Everybody does. tinyurl.com/Amazon AMP. That's going to bring you to our affiliate link, and you go ahead and bookmark that on your phone or your PC or your
Anywhere.
Yeah.
Anywhere that you can bookmark a website.
I'm just trying to go down, and Patrick's like, let's just get out of here.
No, I'm just saying, anywhere, if you think you can bookmark it there, bookmark it there.
And, it's a small commission, but anything helps. tinyurl.com/Amazon AMP. Make sure you follow us on social media, no matter where you're at. Search Amazon AMP Wrestling Podcast, and you'll find us.
Don't search Amazon to find us. You won't find us.
You'll find some very large women.
Maybe. Oh, yeah, that too.
All right, Patrick, get us out of here, son.
Outro.
You've been listening to the Average Marks Pro Wrestling Podcast with David Boston and Patrick Fry. All opinions discussed in the show are those of Average Marks and do not represent any wrestling company, organization, or individual. This has been a Lake Area Media, LLC production.